Welcome back to Montana This Morning. The time is 6:48 on this Thursday morning. High 50s like we saw yesterday, and sounds like, again, like yesterday, we're going to have to keep our eye on the skies. Some question as to what'll move into Billings and what won't. But the man who has the answer, Rob Griggs, is here, and he'll tell us all about it in just a few minutes with the forecast. Well, for our top story this Thursday, we go to Miami, where 10 Democratic presidential candidates debated a range of issues at their first debate. They sparred on immigration, tensions with Iran, the economy, health care, climate change, and guns. President Trump was the focus of criticism. Former Texas Representative Beto O'Rourke called for impeachment proceedings. Tonight's second debate between 10 other Democrats will include Joe Biden, Senators Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, and Mayor Pete Buttigieg. And although he didn't make the debate stage, Montana Governor Steve Bullock did get some FaceTime in Iowa. A town hall featuring only Bullock was broadcast live in Des Moines on Wednesday. Bullock answered questions from Iowans on a number of issues, among them what he would do to fight climate change and what he would do to make housing and college more affordable, saying unlike some Democrats, he's not in favor of forgiving student loans for everyone. Bullock also talked about making sure Social Security is there for the long haul.
So as president, I would not only honor our commitment when it becomes to Social Security, but we've got to figure out either from an additional revenue perspective or just the frugality in government to make sure that we can fund so that not only you can be assured that what you've paid into your lifetime you get, but so I can be assured of that for me as well.
Bullock will get more airtime later today with another live town hall broadcast in New Hampshire. That's where the second Democratic primary will be held next February. Another Republican is joining the 2020 race for Montana's open U.S. House seat, bringing the total to 3. Helena farmer and rancher Joe Dooling kicked off his campaign, saying he's got a strong background in agriculture. He says he's someone who won't abandon the seat. The last two Montana congressmen, Ryan Zinke and Greg Gianforte, decided to leave the seat within 2 years of winning it.
Definitely the underdog here, and I think, all my life people have told me that I was an underdog. When I came to Helena Valley, I was a hired hand, and now I have a farm. Everybody said, you can't buy a farm today's age. You can't buy a farm in the Helena Valley. And I've clawed and digged my way up every time. So being an underdog is great because you only got one place to go is up.
2 Democrats are in the race for the Lone House seat. That's Kathleen Williams of Bozeman and Tom Winter of Missoula. The first 2020 candidate for state auditor is officially in the race as Republican Troy Downing, a Big Sky businessman, announced his intention to run. Downing ran last year for the U.S. Senate. He says he's a political outsider and a businessman who wants to shake up the status quo. The current auditor, Matt Rosendale, is running for the U.S. House in 2020. Downing says he'd be a conservative watchdog for Montanans' tax dollars. In court news, a Billings man will spend 2 years in federal prison after he tried to hide a gun under a child's car seat. 44-year-old Justin Kraft was sentenced Wednesday for illegal possession of a gun during a traffic stop last June. Court documents state police pulled over a car Kraft was riding in and saw Kraft try to put something under a car seat. Police found a 9mm semi-automatic pistol with a partially obliterated serial number under the child's seat. Kraft has a prior felony conviction forbidding him from possessing a firearm. A stolen vehicle turned 4-car crash earlier this week in Billings has police out looking for more stolen cars and potential suspects. 37-year-old Melvin Brown was charged with 5 felonies on Wednesday, and the judge set bail at $20,000. Police say Brown was driving a stolen black Volvo down Broadwater Avenue just before 5 o'clock Tuesday. Police say he T-boned a car at 15th and Broadwater and crashed into 2 more vehicles before he stopped, jumped out, and fled on foot, but was quickly apprehended. Lieutenant Brandon Woolley says police are now investigating Brown's involvement in other stolen vehicles and connections to other potential suspects. And another collision to report, this one at a pier in Montreal involving the USS Billings. Video shows the ship with assistance of 2 tugs when the starboard side of the warship made contact with the port side of a cargo ship that was stationed at the pier. Witnesses say it somehow lost control after the lines were let go. After 2 years of construction, the USS Billings, a littoral combat ship, was delivered to the Navy in February. The collision happened Friday, and the Navy is now conducting an investigation. Officials say there is minor damage to the starboard bridge wing, but a full assessment of the damage is ongoing, so the ship will temporarily be docked in Montreal. The ship was expected to reach Florida in July and be commissioned on August 3rd. The collision is not expected to impact those dates. Following concerns over home foundations along Viewcrest Drive, there are questions on who oversees the seeping irrigation canal. Sitting north of 6th Avenue, the Billings Benchwater Association owns that section of the canal and is therefore responsible for its maintenance. That particular ditch runs from the Yellowstone River in Laurel all the way out to Shepherd. The city of Billings points to the individual companies for questions about repairs, other concerns, and even just access to the water. As previously reported, the association turned off the water on Friday with plans to apply a sealant and turn the water back on Monday. Billings and Yellowstone County are strong, but both have challenges. That's the message coming from the Chamber of Commerce's State of the City County Luncheon. On Wednesday, Mayor Bill Cole said the city has money for big projects, but we face a financial challenge with both the general and public safety funds. Yellowstone County Commissioner Dennis Pittman talked about the growing issues of drug abuse and mental illness. Mayor Cole says crime has increased, and Commissioner Pittman says it's important to look at treatment programs to help with drug and alcohol abuse problems. And although there are no investors in One Big Sky and a bill did not pass the legislature, Pittman and Cole are focused on the positives.
There's no doubt that we need the legislative tools out of Helena in order to make any downtown project like that successful, not just in Billings, but in other cities around Montana. So I'm hoping we'll take another swing at getting the 406 Impact District legislation passed. We came very, very close. It died on a tie vote. There's blue skies ahead for One Big Sky District.
The message of One Big Sky and the whole process is that Billings is a good place to do business. How that unfolds, whether it be at Metro Park or another plan, I think we have to come to the understanding that Billings is growing and needs to grow, and it has good ideas and we're welcoming businesses to come here.
Pittman also mentioned revitalizing and remodeling the county jail has gone well, and the county expects to have it fully operating in about 2 months. After Mother Nature forced crews to back off of construction and delayed its opening, the new portion of U.S. Highway 212-310 from Rockville to Laurel is open. The grand opening ceremony held Wednesday at Riverside Park in Laurel celebrated the 10 miles of new roadway. The Montana Department of Transportation says the road will help handle both increased traffic growth and recurring crashes along that stretch of highway. The development includes 2 new bridges over the railroad, improved lighting, and turn lanes. On to business news. High Country Meat in Lincoln is sold, but the new owners say they'll keep the jerky making facility around. High Country has manufactured, packaged, and shipped its well-known jerky for 40 years. There's no word on when the sale will be complete. We're told the new owner owns a sushi restaurant in Bozeman.
He has a lot of experience in the industry. He's run some, similar types of ventures or been part of them in Bozeman. I think he's got a really solid marketing background, and I think he's very well adversed in promoting and growing networks and brands.
The company also takes part in a community development block grant designed to create and keep jobs.